And welcome back, everyone. I haven't done much Pokemon stuff lately in terms like predictions for Generation 9 or anything like that. And that's because I was kind of starting to run out week to week basis on like doing those kind of things. And I'm not a PokeTuber. I'm not like Tyranitar 2. I'm not like A-Drive or Ruffle Rowlet. Pokemon isn't the predominant thing on the channel I talk about. But I still do Pokemon videos every week. Obviously, I do the team videos. I will do a versus or a what if. And I still talk about the games clearly when they come up. And obviously, we're going to be talking today about the announcement of Generation 9 coming to us late this next year. And that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, I have the trailer up. We're really just going to, and I'm going to mute the trailer so I don't get like flagged or anything. But we're just going to talk about the trailer and what we're getting out of this. Theories that look like they were proven right and theories that, don't matter. I mean, we have this intro here which made everyone kind of think it was Detective Pikachu. I actually didn't watch the announcement live, so I did see a thumbnail that showed off the starters. So I'm like, oh, is that we are getting a new generation? What? So this, I'm already like, okay, it's a new generation, whatever. So we're actually going to fast forward to when he opens the room up here. And we get in here, and I'm like, okay, this room clearly must be showing us what the region is based off of. And we get more of it in the trailer, but we get a lot of like maps. We get this art where coffee is big in Spain. We get, let's see here. We get this clock. Someone's pointed out that the artistry is very similar to artistry you can see like in a lot of places. Treasure. Spaniards were big in like conquesting conquistadors, things along those lines. Very big sailing culture in Spain, pirating. So it makes a lot of sense. We might be getting like sunken ships and buried treasure in this game. But then we get the fade out to white, and I thought this screen lasted a bit longer than I initially thought. But then we get this intro. We get this, and this is, look, none of this is finalized. So this is still like early in the processing. They're going to clean a lot of this stuff up. And there's definitely shots that look like they need cleaned up. But even just this landscape shot right here is gorgeous to look at. I mean, just look at that. That is beautiful. You get this great shot of this lake here with the building right here. Should note, by the way, that I didn't find this out because I didn't actually check out the site. But apparently, they did confirm this is an open world game. Now, one of the things I talked about that Gen 9 needed to maybe take away from Pokemon Legend Arceus is the idea of the open world concept. Now, Legends Arceus isn't a true open world concept. You can't go everywhere on the map because there's obviously certain points where they just say you can't go any further. You try to fly or swim away. But that's for a Legends game. Here, this is the main series game, and hopefully, assuming we're still doing gyms and all that, which I have to assume at the moment, at any rate, we are still doing, that it's going to be done in a way that it doesn't matter what gym you theoretically go to, maybe the levels are going to be scaled. So it doesn't matter where you're going, it's going to be scaled. Or you can go all the way to the final gym early on if you just want to try to book it towards there. There's a good chance there's going to be obstacles still, but you can at least explore a lot more of this world than you normally could. But it's going to be like the wild area in Sword and Shield where you can explore the entire wild area if you like, but if you're doing it from the first time you visit, there's no way you're taking on that Snorlax at the bridge, the Tyranitar down the way, the Machamp down the lane, the Gengar, and you're not taking those guys on. So it could be, it's open world. It may benefit you to choose at least a somewhat linear path. But, you get this great shot at night. This little foggy night city here. That's looking pretty good, nice. I like this shot of, like, the open, this what looks like a wild area. But I'm not sure it is exactly. Because, again, if it's all open world, it begs the question on how you travel. It begs the question on how you choose to travel, really. It also kind of confirms that shots we see, like right here, where they are apparently going the Arceus route of having them just straight in the overworld. And they look good. We'll see a little later, the Magnemite and Survivor particularly looks good. If there are regional variants, which I assume they're going to be, it's just a good way to fill out the decks and fill out any regional decks while still having new Pokemon and, saving room for more. And people seem to like it. But we're not getting a regional Meowth. At least, I hope not. I hope it's not going to be like, hey, yeah, we had a regional Meowth in Galar, but you can still get another regional Meowth, or the original Meowth. Stone Jorders are in a desert area. We have a beach area with Pelipper, along with not Skrulps, not Claunchers. Clauser? Is it? That it? Clauser? Anyway. He's waving. Little Swablues, which someone noted, and this is the shot where people kind of say that this just doesn't look that great. And yeah, at the moment, like a lot of the rendering needs a little work, especially in the background. Some of the lighting probably needs to be adjusted. Keep in mind, though, this isn't actual gameplay, at least as far as we can tell. This is just, a lot of this is made for the trailer, to be fair. But the thing is, there's no shadow there for like the Swablu is one thing to be noted. Though, I mean, the Swablu is still looking good overall. There's Pikachu there, just scratching his ears, and then you got a Blissey sleeping. The Survivor, you can see the scales on the Survivor. That looks just so damn good. There's Larvitars, they look pretty good. The Magnum, look at that. That's a thing of beauty right there. Lucario's looking good too. Like, I'm sure there's still got to be some rendering work done, but it's looking good. It is looking good overall. Like, this looks great. Apparently this is based off allegedly a church. We may be getting Dratini line in this region, whatever the region is called right now. The Dratini fountain, I actually like that. It's nice. I love to have a Dratini fountain. That'd be awesome. And then we get this circle here. We get the circle that has every type here. And it's interesting because this is clearly a very important area. And there's something else in the center here, which seems to be like a merger of types of some kind. Now, you're not going to see it in this trailer, but they did point out that in the Japanese trailer, with the actual Japanese titles, there is this crystal star of some kind that is where basically you saw the Z crystal, where you saw the Mega Evolution symbol, where you saw the Dynamax symbol. So this star represents whatever the gimmick / mechanic of this game is. Now, my theory, very early on last year, was the idea of Pokemon fusion of some kind. Which, by the way, I could probably make that a new video, because now that we got this, I think there's a stronger implication for it. I will say this. There's a big dependence on how many new Pokemon we're going to get, obviously. We obviously got our starters, which we'll get to at the very end of the video. But there's also the idea of if there's a small number of new Pokemon, regional variants not included, obviously, if you add Pokemon Fusion, but only add it for a certain amount of Pokemon that can only fuse together for certain amounts, and all that, you're able to basically create new Mon that fill out the decks even further. But they have to be Mon that are clearly compatible with each other. Now, in the manga, the Star Fusions actually allows humans to fuse with Pokemon. Now, I don't know if we're going to get something like that. I highly doubt we're going to go that route. But, I mean, anything's possible at this point. You're already making an open game, all this. This is our home, apparently. This just looks beautiful right here. Now, my initial thought, by the way, was, are we in India? But I'm like, nah, this doesn't really seem like it. I mean, we got this tropical aspect right here with the palm trees, a lot of oranges, which, apparently, like, blood orange is very big in Spain. And then we get, shallow laundry, which I like the blowing on. Then you get shallows, and when I first see this, I'm like, wait, what? And I paused it right there. Oh, dear God. And my reaction is very much the same as a lot of other people. Oh, dear God. What have they done to us? I mean, look. I get updating the sprites. I do. And you know what? Look. It was subtle upgrades from... it was a big upgrade from X and Y to Sun and Moon. It was a subtle upgrade from Sun and Moon to Sword and Shield, and even further going into Legends Arceus, where you actually got to see more emotion on your face. Granted, it was like all of 5 emotions, but that's still a lot of emotion compared to what we had. But the look was never the problem. This looks creepy. And I'll be honest, I'm not digging that outfit either. Now, granted, the outfit, that's interchangeable. They're going to have customization. They've been having it since Gen 6. You're going to have that. Don't worry. I'm not worried. Yeah, no, this looks odd. That's going to take some getting used to. That is definitely going to take some getting used to. Apparently, too, there are subtle differences. Not even like new Mon. We don't even know about new Mon. There's probably going to be version exclusive Mon. But depending what version you choose, Scarlet or Violet, it changes what your starting outfit is. Let me actually see if that girl walking up the... Okay, so yeah, right there. Okay, so that is more or less your Scarlet outfit, and the boys obviously have their own version as well. I think that's a girl. But then your Violet outfit looks more like this. So what other subtleties are we going to have here? Oh God! And I want to talk about that real quick. They do show you at least a portion of the regional map, which clearly is, which I initially thought still might have been Australia, but now thinking about it, this is clearly just the part of Spain, like the western part of Spain you can see. Now, I can't wait to actually see the legitimate region map so we can really go into it. Get the new switch there, and there's the bottom of it, and then you cut to the real world. So it's great, wonderful. And you know what? If that had been it, we would have been happy. We would have been exceedingly happy. And they keep referencing oranges and grapes, Violet and Scarlet, kind of. And I think Scarlet's supposed to be like a blood orange. Which, by the way, if you ever have blood orange anything, it's actually pretty... I mean, it tastes mostly like a slightly richer orange, but it's really for the looks. And then we got this, the reveal of our starters. Now, the starters... Oh, God. Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Sprigget. I cannot remember the name of the cat right off the top of my head. Now, when I first looked at these, my immediate reaction was, okay, I like the cat. That looks like a Kirby creature. I don't like that duck. And that was about 5 hours ago since watching this, roughly speaking. Have I softened on these? I've softened on them quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I don't hate the duck, but I'm not a fan of the duck. The duck's still my least favorite. I liked Sobble in Gen 8, but then they turned that line into crap. That line, I did not like the Inteleon line. I just didn't. And I was not a fan of the Score Buddy line. I grew to like Cinderace okay, but I'd never used it. Here I'm like, I like the cat. Honestly, I think it's a cute cat. I like it, but weirdly enough, Fuecoco, the fire croc Pokemon, it's a crocodile. It's a little crocodile pepper, actually, because you can see a little fire stem here, and it's shaped like a pepper. So, has actually, weirdly enough, grown on me because it's a crocodile, so I know then the evolution, okay, I don't know, we never know, but I can hope that being based on a giant reptilian crocodile creature, it could evolve into something really cool. My go-to gut reaction always is the Grass Star. I've always been the Grass Star person. I went Bulbasaur originally. I did originally go Cyndaquil the first time I played Silver. But then Chikorita was an immediate one. Going through my list in my head, I've played through all the stars of Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, not Gen 4. I do not like Piplup or Empoleon. I just don't like that line. Nor do I like the Emboar line at all, so I've never used those guys. And I'm not a big fan of the Litten line. I'm really not. I digress, though. Went with Trico the first time, went with Turtwig the next time, Snivy line, Chespin line, Rowlet line, Grookey line. I am predominantly a grass user. But I gotta say, the longer I look at it, and the more I speculate on what this thing could evolve ultimately into, the more I'm liking Fuecoco. The more I'm like, maybe I'll change it up. But I still like the cat. But again, we base on what we choose the starters. We base how we choose the starters. On our initial appearance of their first forms, and then the final forms. We don't give a shit about the middle forms most of the time. It's just about what they start as and what they end as. Now, so at least those two, in my opinion, have a lot of potential for their final forms. And look, Quaxel is probably never going to truly grow up. It's cute. I give it that. My sister said it has Donald Trump hair, and I'm like, it's not entirely accurate. More likely, it's based off either a postman or a sea captain's hat. Actually, I joked, it looks like it has a little Wario hat on there because of the W. But yeah, I'm not I just don't dig on bird starters very often. Rowlet's definitely an exception, obviously. And I don't mind Torchic. I do like Torchic fine. But I don't like Piplup very much. It's cute, but I don't like the evolutions. And this one's not as bad as Piplup, I guess, but eh. So I'll wait to see what I'm getting from the other two, and then maybe Quaxel will surprise me. I'll end up choosing Quaxel. Who knows? But it also, one other thing someone has pointed out, most people point out, is that it's Generation 9. Like, okay, we've gone 8 generations with the Fire Zodiac theory being kind of safe and sound. This throws that right out the window. There is no, the closest thing you have on the Chinese Zodiac would be a dragon. But we already have a dragon in Charmander and Charizard line. The next closest one then would be the snake, and this is clearly not a snake. So it's a crocodile. There's a distinct difference between the two. So yeah, I mean, I guess this now completely disproves the theory. Yeah, everyone's now, which is unfortunate because I really wanted the fire. I mean, we could still get a fire snake another generation, but I wanted a fire snake. Or at least something that proved that we would get the fire snake. Now there's no proof we'll ever get a fire snake. But I mean, at the same time, though, that means like there's no limit on what they can do now for these starters. There really isn't. Because if you're not actually following a theme, now the theory though with the grass stars is they're always based on extinct animals. This is a cat. Could it turn into like a saber-toothed tiger with like bark tusks or bark fangs? Who's to say it couldn't? Honestly, it's entirely possible. But I mean, that's just as my immediate theory. But yeah, no, I mean, as time has gone on for the last 5 to 6 hours, I have grown on these starters. I have. They're not my favorite set right now. I think cute-wise, the cat is still the cutest. Croc is definitely grown at me, and I'm still just not a big fan of the duck. But it is what it is. But that is, yeah, those are your starter Pokemon for this game. There's a fat cuter look, and then hello, and then Quack. And then you finally get the logos, Scarlet and Violet. And I'd be lying. I have no problem with the titles. Most people have commented that this is the first time in a while we've gone back to colors. They don't look all that fantastic in terms of like artistic license and all that, but still they're not terrible by any stretch of the means. I mean, Sword and Shield didn't. I'm wondering now so many things. A, what are our legendaries to represent both Scarlet and Violet, and what do they represent? B, what's our evil team like? What is the overall theme of this game? Because every game kind of has a theme. Gold and silver. Let's actually go to Ruby and Sapphire. It was land versus sea. Expansion versus expansion, but on land and sea. It was time and space with Diamond and Pearl. It was ideology versus truth in Black and White. It was life and death in X and Y. Sun and moon was the sun and the moon. Night and day. That was that theme there. Sword and Shield, that's defense, offense, all that to one degree or another. So what's the dichotomy between these two, the legendaries that we'll end up getting? So yeah, and are we still getting gyms? I want to hope we're getting gyms, because don't get me wrong, I love trying new things, I do. And we had Shield and Sword, had gyms, and that's all well and good, but now we had Legends Arceus, something completely different, trying something different. As much as I liked Sun and Moon, I'll admit, I missed the gyms. Sometimes you just want to go on the Pokemon adventure. Be the best that ever was. So, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I'm very much looking forward to this, though. Definitely. It's a new Pokemon game. It's a new generation. Of course I'm looking forward to it. You'd be looking forward to it, too. I'd hope. But, yeah, I mean, what are your initial thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll wait to see what the next set of information is going to be for these games. And until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks for the next one.